Good morning everyone. Guys, we are living in absolutely insane times. So today guys, I want to give you guys a brief overview on the 4 World War III hotspots that I see, flaring up at any time. The first 3 everybody understands, and then the 4th one nobody's talking about it at the moment. But guys, just quickly, if you're living in the United Kingdom at the moment, I honestly don't know what's happened over the last 10 days. I don't know whether it's the weather, the kids off school, or whether people have just been boiling over for years. Guys, crime, migrant crisis, Keir Starmer. Guys, it's gone absolutely insane. Keir Starmer's speech last night, and like a couple of months ago, I said I didn't want to be critical of the government. It's very difficult, guys, alright, when he came out and gave the speech he gave yesterday. Let me just quickly for you guys. So everybody's throwing around this definition now of far right. Far right. Oh, you guys are far right. Oh, it's the far right. Let me give you the definition of what far right actually is. So this is from Oxford Dictionary. Extreme right wing of a political party or group. That's it. So all these people who are protesting, who Keir Starmer's calling far right, are they all prescribed to a extreme right wing of a political group? Are they all members of that political group? He's the Prime Minister. He should not be using language like that, guys. He should have, there's a lot of other things he said that he shouldn't have said, but I think I'll save that for another video. Guys, just be careful, be prepared and be vigilant, because guys, remember, it's Friday. Things always happen on a Friday. Not every Friday, and not always big things happen on Friday. But more likely than not, things happen on a Friday. Kids are off school. People have finished work early. Nobody wants to know. People have got their phones turned off. The stock market's closed. It's a lot easier to make money or destabilise a country. Guys, just be vigilant, okay? Summer, things are going to get worse. And I'm predicting right now for you guys, by the end of the month, there's going to be another huge black swan event. I don't know what it is. Nobody knows what it is, what it's going to be. That's the kind of the thing of a black swan event. Guys, but mark my words, something big's going to happen this month, and, and everything's going to change again. And then everybody's just going to be in absolute panic mode. Anyway, guys, so my 4 regions for conflict flaring up. So we've got Ukraine, Middle East, Taiwan, China, and then we've got the Falklands and Antarctica. I'll talk about each one of those in depth now. So the Ukraine conflict, guys, it's been going on since 2014. It's not been going on since 2022, as most people, allude to. 2014 is when this thing started. There's been a mass loss of life out there. It's very difficult to get numbers from either side, and the variation between the low end and the high end is just ridiculously wild. So at the low end, you've got 70,000 Ukrainians have lost their lives. On the low end of the Russian side, you've got 35,000, and again, I don't give any stock to these numbers. On the high ends at either side, you've got like a million people. Guys, the numbers are so wild, I don't know what they are, but there has been a huge loss of life. Put into perspective that when the British military went to Afghanistan for 20 years, we lost tragically, because I knew quite a few of them. We lost 457 soldiers. So put that into perspective with the war in Ukraine, guys. Absolutely insane. And a lot of these casualties have been since 2022, when there was no ambiguity with the invasion. So people are saying, how can Russia keep going? How can Russia keep pushing forwards? They're losing too many men. That's kind of the point. That's how they fight war. In the West, we would not accept those losses. But the way the Russian doctrine and the Russian training and the Russian... how's my focus? Yeah, and the way the Russian military is set up, it's not set up to have a highly trained military. And they know that. So what they do is they understand that, so they never try and train their military. Yes, they will have some Spetsnaz units that will be relatively well trained, but the Russians don't fight in such a way that they need highly trained soldiers. It's just how it's just how it happens. They've got lots of people. Now, From my video yesterday, the F-16s have just arrived in Ukraine. So that's going to be, a lot of the media are playing this down, but I think this is going to be a game changer in the sense that the Russians now, I think they're going to watch, they're going to wait, they're going to see, are these F-16s being, you know, contributing in any meaningful way? If they are, I feel the Russians are going to take out all the airfields in a blitzkrieg type attack. Makes no sense for them to do it piecemeal. They'll just do it all at once because they've got the capacity. Once they've done that, then the Ukrainians then have to make the decision, you know, do we continue to fly F-16s? If so, where from? I think that's going to be from Poland. It could be one of the other bordering countries. I think Poland's going to be the one. Now, then the Russians have to make the decision, right, okay, the Ukrainians are now flying the F-16s from Poland. Are they being, you know, are they contributing in any meaningful way? Yes or no? If they are, the Russians need to have a serious conversation then about, okay, are we going to take out those airfields in Poland or wherever? Remember what I said, guys, like months ago about Poland will be, you know, doing the defensive sorties over Ukraine. They'll be flying defensive missions over Ukraine. It'll be, you know, and I said it months ago when the article first came out about the Polish pilots coming out and saying, oh, you know, we're up there doing our, you know, doing an interception, but we can't fly into Ukraine and we can't intercept missiles over Ukraine. If we could only press that button, it would intercept that missile and it would save loads of lives. Do you remember that video? So I said that video, I said that's going to be the seedling for the Polish to be flying over Ukraine and covering the airspace over Ukraine. Now, so you've seen this start to happen now. Romania have started to shoot down missiles and projectiles, I can't remember what they are, but I think it was Kinzels, over Ukraine. So remember, you get this tactical tiptoe. So one country will do a little thing, and then it'll stop, and then another country will do a little thing, and then they start the precedence. So Romania have started the precedence now for shooting down devices. You've got missiles, you've got drones, you've got aircraft, you know, shooting down aircraft, I guess, over Ukraine. And then once that happens for a little bit, Poland will say, oh, look, well, the Romanians are shooting it down. We can shoot it down as well, but we're going to shoot it down with our F-16 jets. Oh, well, the Ukrainians are letting us use their airspace, so we're just going to fly into their airspace. Okay, after a while, okay, we're going to do defensive patrols around Ukraine. And then it's going to become, and I keep saying this, it's going to become very difficult for the Russians to know whether that's a Polish F-16 leaving that airbase for a defensive sortie or a Ukrainian F-16 leaving that airbase for an offensive sortie. And again, these could just be admin runs in a to and from Ukraine. By admin, I mean, you know, there's a damaged aircraft, it needs changing out or whatever. So guys, that's the conflict in Ukraine at the moment. You know, things are not slowing down. You've got the Middle East, and I think the Middle East could have, you know, it could go, guys, the Middle East could go today. Friday is a special day if you live in that part of the world. You know, things normally happen on a Friday out there. I'm not saying they will, I'm saying there's a high likelihood. So, you know, over the last few months, we've seen tit-for-tat escalation. You know, the Israelis bombed the embassy in Syria, so the Iranians fired a load of missiles back. So the West, Britain, America, everybody with fast jets in that region defended Israel. Then it kind of simmered down. There's been more fighting with Hamas, more fighting with Hezbollah. You know, things have been escalating even more. Most recently, the Israelis, well, I don't think the Israelis have come out and said it's them, have admitted it yet, but, you know, the Iranians have claimed it's the Israelis. And remember, you know, the reality of any of these things doesn't really matter. It's the perception of that reality that matters. So, the Iranians, they've claimed that the Israelis have taken out a Hamas leader on their, you know, in their soil in their capital city. Guys, this is a huge humiliation for the Iranians. You know, they can't protect their own airspace. The Israelis can strike anyone as and when they choose. So, you know, Iran now have vowed, you know, to avenge his death. And, you know, I said this straight away when the Syrian incident happened. I said, guys, these guys are going to strike back, and it's most probably going to be this Friday. I'm not particularly sure if they've had enough time to do the operational planning, identify targets and put together strike packs. I don't know if that's happened already. You would like to think this is already happening in the background and they're continually doing this, but you know, the reality is I don't know. But guys, you know, Israel's getting ready for all-out war in that region. Iran certainly is. You've got Hezbollah, you've got Hamas, you've got the 12, I think, US warships off the coast. You've got RAF Akrotiri in Cyprus, which again, it's not far away from the you know, from the Israeli shoreline. Guys, that region at the moment is the highest likelihood to pop off, and that could, you know, that could go this Friday, today, sorry. Then you've got Taiwan and China. Guys, if Taiwan and China happens, this will grind the world to a halt. As soon as it happens, the world will just stop. Everybody might as well just stop, apply their safety catchers, press pause on everything they've got, because everything will stop. You know, China, they're continually doing naval drills in and around that area. You know, they're continually intruding into Taiwan airspace. The conflict, guys, for global shipping in that region is absolutely huge. Shipping will just, you know, shipping will just be over. We won't be getting any stuff anymore. The whole shipping system will just grind to a halt like overnight. Microchip production will be over. It will, again, it won't be stopped. There'll be a pause for X amount of years. Now, that doesn't sound like much, but think of all the things that, you know, microchips go into. Phones, computers, guys, they go into literally everything. And these microchips, microprocessors, they're all of different levels. So it's not just the high-end ones, it's the low-end ones. And, you know, Taiwan is the biggest producer of this, what would you call it, resource. So this is going to grind everything to a halt, this conflict in Taiwan, you know, and it will affect everything from food production to laptops, guys, and everything in between if this conflict kicks off and if it starts. I don't think this is imminent. I think this will be the last one to go, because the Chinese are not stupid. They're going to wait till the Americans are committed somewhere else. And again, that's why I don't see the Americans committing in Ukraine. I've said it many times, you know, you've seen this diversions and you're seeing it in real time. And then, guys, we've got my favourite after that, my favourite and final, guys, Antarctica, the Falklands. Nobody else is talking about this. You've got the Argentinian, is he president? Yeah, the president of Argentina. Argentina, they're financially they're broke, but they're managing to buy F-16s. They're managing to buy amphibious landing craft. The rhetoric towards the Falklands is, guys, listen, you know, we want you back. We think it should be, we think the Falklands should be Argentinian because, you know, it's only, what, 400 miles off our coast. They want that back, guys, all right? Not only do they want that back, Russia wants them to want it back, because if Russia can influence them to take that back, then Britain has to go and defend it. Britain has to put assets down there. That means less assets to Ukraine. The amount of money in that region, off the coast of the Falklands and into the Antarctic region, guys, it would make whoever took that twice as rich as Saudi Arabia. So when you tell me there's no financial incentive for doing that, yes, of course they will say some, you know, some long-winded nationalist, patriotic reason that they want to get the Falklands back. No, guys. They want the Falklands back because there's a ton of money down there in oil reserves. And that's only the oil reserves that have been found now. We don't know what other oil reserves are down there. We don't know what other oil reserves are on land. And remember, whoever controls the Falkland Islands controls Antarctica. So all these things, guys, all right, they're all interconnected. Everybody at high government level, well, I'd like to think most, do you know what, probably not even at government level, guys, all right? Because there's a lot of people in the UK government who I'm looking at and I'm just thinking, how have you got to that position? You are stupid. Anyway, you know, I'm looking at our politicians and I'm thinking that. But anyway, guys, that aside, there's a lot of people around the world, people who know what's happening, people who pull the strings, people who control things. You know, they all understand what's happening and they understand all these things are interconnected. And guys, remember, it's Friday. Things usually happen on a Friday, so be vigilant and stay aware. Guys, I'm going to Mag to Grid and I'll see you guys later.